So here's my journal, and we're on the last one we're going to get to. Expect persecution every day. And the people it was written to were those people that you see, and you have your own Bible and your own map in the back of your Bible. But let's go through it. Jesus wants us, number one, to wear our helmet. The whole chapter is about expect persecution. The world hated Jesus, so suffering comes as part of serving him. And I already told you in Acts 11, the derogatory term for Christians was, the derogatory term for believers was Christian, because they were little Christ, and it was making fun of them. Okay, here is 1 Peter 4:1. Therefore, you notice how many times Peter does that? He's always saying, just because of what I just said, therefore, since Christ suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourself also with the same mind, for he who has suffered in the flesh has ceased from sin. Boy, that's why you need a study Bible. People get all kinds of things like that. There's the perfectionism movement. I remember that Benjamin Warfield wrote a book about perfectionism, and there was a movement in America where these people had come to the point of perfection. They didn't sin anymore. And one of them was a very well-known speaker in Warfield's time, and he was kind of at a place like Barakel, and the speaker hadn't come up yet, and he came around the corner, and the man had set up his little mirror, and he had a little portable comb, and he was combing that beautiful white hair that, makes me jealous, and he was combing it, and Warfield mentioned to him, he said, how long has it been since you were vain or, proud or whatever? And it was just a reminder that we're not perfect. But this verse, chapter 4, verse 1, is not saying that we cease from ever being sinful. But how do you break the shackles of habitual sin? Boy, that's key. We have a generation, every generation has to learn how to not let reptilian desires grow unchecked in our lives. And what I mean by that, how reptiles get bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's why dinosaurs are the giant lizards. Lust is lizardly. It gets bigger as long as you keep feeding it. And that's why some people are fearful, and they get more fearful. That's one of the sinful conditions of the flesh, fear. It's the most repeated negative prohibition in the Bible, fear not. Because when you fear something, you enter into Satan's realm. It's kind of like, why don't you just go to a witchcraft place? That's just as blatant as fear. And so we're not supposed to fear. So what do? Jesus wants us to wear a helmet. We can arm ourselves with, you notice what it says? It says, arm yourselves with the same mind. That's all the way through the New Testament. Look at Colossians 3:1. Set your affection on things above. We are supposed to choose to point our minds. In fact, we all do. We point our minds somewhere. The sad thing is, most people point it right there. Bonnie and I were just riding a subway in Beijing. And we were riding the subway, and I looked around, and there were 3 people on the subway that weren't like this. Bonnie, me, and about a 100-year-old peasant woman that I don't know how she got on that subway in Beijing. She was the only one that did not have earbuds and a phone. And either they're watching, listening, or playing. And I thought, set your affections on things above. Point your dish somewhere. Arm your minds. Jesus wants us to wear our helmet, and of course that's Ephesians 6.